battle zone Edithor, located on the doomed planet Medusa 5, a planet that is currently under siege from 9 different races. Necrons, Eldar, Chaos, Imperial Guard and Tyranids are among some of the armies currently vying for control of the mining planet. Today we focus on one small skirmish that took place, the outpost fortress of Invicticus 6, home to 46,000 Imperial Guard troops and 100 mechanized vehicles. The local garrison consisted of 20,000 Death Corps who were ready and eager to defend the gates of the fortress. And holding the massive breach in the wall, we have 25,000 Cadian shock troops, determined to hold back the enemy at any cost. In support of all these guardsmen, we've got 500 Black Templars with their chainsaws ready to rally to any cracks in the defense. And lastly, we have 100 Lehman Russ tanks represented by our Shermans, and their enemy today is a tiny scouting force of 5 million Hormagaunts looking for biomass to collect and assimilate. Will the loyalist forces be able to hold out against the encroaching swarm? As always, there's only one way to find out. Here we are then, ladies and gentlemen, kicking off today's absolute slaughter. The TYRANIDS have got the fortress of Invicticus 6 right in their sights, and they are currently swarming right towards it. Now, bear in mind, this is only a tiny outpost fortress, so it's got no mega galactic guns in it or anything like that. It was simply, basically, a recon station. A very big one at that, but the Tyranids, this is just a tiny scouting force for them. They're trying to see if there's any biomass over here, and they've found some. So 5 million Hormagaunts, and that is all that there is here. There's no brood warriors, nothing like that, no cheese dealers, no crazy flying things, just pure old Hormagaunt scouting force. And already the Death Corps here are opening fire on the front line. They are going to be holding the front line here, determined to hold the gatehouse at all costs. And the Tyranids swarming forward, the chitinous armor here deflecting a shot every now and then, but they are taking monumental losses in the process. You can see the Death Corps here trying to form some rudimentary defense here at the gatehouse, but the Tyranids are just completely swarming the area. Oh my god, look at that insane horde here. You can see there Lehman Russ tank shells going off in the middle of them, sending some flying through the air. But my god, that is an insane swarm. It doesn't matter how many they kill, they just keep pouring forward. And we can go over to the other gatehouse over here. This one here being defended by the Cadians, and you can see they are making a light work of the Tyranid force that is currently trying to propel itself into this one little gatehouse area. Already an insane little body pile is slowly but surely starting to appear. Let's just crank up slow motion a little second. Let's have a look at this. The insane Tyranid swarm here. These poor old guardsmen are probably wondering what the hell they've got themselves into. Because look at this. This is just... that's an insane sight. Imagine defending this guardhouse, the gatehouse, and that's all you can see outside. Yep, you'd make sure that your gun was overheating with the amount of firepower that you'd be laying down here. You see very much the same affair on here. The Tyranids are trying to push forward here, but no, the Death Corps here. Sorry, Death Corps, I'm going to get shouted at if I keep calling them corpse. The Death Corps here, obviously, just... they're really happy that the Tyranids are here. They love a good old bayonet fight. We can see that a few of them have got stranded outside here, trying to hold this ridgeline. Let's take it back out of slow motion so we can get the true speed of the Nids here. But yeah, you can see that a few of them out here are trying to hold this ridgeline, and the Nids are just pouring all over it. Thousands have already died. 37,000 Tyranids have already died. And we've already got our first few Space Marines eager on the front line. They are literally, like, what, 10 of them here, just holding back an entire Tyranid swarm all by themselves with just chainsaws. I mean, look at them go. They are holding out against them. Now, this is going to be really hard for the Tyranids to push this gatehouse. It's a narrow little death alleyway here. The Tyranids, though, they've got other options. They have got gatehouses around here. And, of course, they've got the big breach over there. But so far, the horde, the swarm, whatever you want to call it, has not got around to them gatehouses. They are quite literally distracted by all the tasty morsels of flesh currently on the outside. Though these tasty morsels of flesh are very, very tender. Oh my, they are tough old bits of steak actually. They are not tender at all. The Death Corps here. Oh my. Look at this. The gatehouse has practically been now
blocked off. The front line is a wash of death. Oh my god. The camera here going absolutely crazy every time it hits one of the walls. Look at this body pile here, though. This is the Tyranid plan, though, ladies and gentlemen. They know they won't be able to get their nids through such a small gatehouse there, so they're just going to pile up the bodies, and hopefully they'll cascade over the wall that way. Let's go have a look how we're doing at this gatehouse. Yeah, another insane pile of bodies here. The Cadians just holding it out resolutely. But the part I'm really interested in seeing over here, well, what they're doing up here. Okay, it looks like a few of them have been coming up here to try and flank around, and they're getting just stuck up there. But this is the part that is going to be deadly here. The breach in the wall. This is going to have to be held by the Cadians and none other than the Cadians. As you can see, there's a few Space Marines over here, but this breach here is absolutely massive. Sorry, the camera keeps going dead fast. The keys are a bit weird. Sometimes there's a key that makes the camera go super slow like this. Sometimes, though, it decides to make the camera go super fast instead. It's a little bit weird, so if you see the camera flying off, it's because I tried to slow it down and instead it decided to go super fast. And speaking of super fast, look at the swarm. Look at the speed of them. I mean, they are dying as quickly as they are arriving at the front here. But look at that. Every time there's an explosion, it's just immediately filled in by Tyranids, swarming up this one little path. Oh my god, look at that! That is a terrifying sight. Oh my god, that is really terrifying. You would not want to be a guardsman on the receiving end of this. Just marching up. There is a couple of Space Marines on the front line. That would bolster me greatly. You can see, though, the Tyranids now finding their way around to the other guardhouses here. Couple of Space Marines holding this one resolutely. They're not going to go down without a fight whatsoever. And another situation has appeared at this one. This one's actually been held out by a tank, it appears. They've actually just parked a tank in the gatehouse. And they've got a guardsman there as well. Okay, well, that might hold quite well, actually. Meanwhile, how are we getting on at the funnel of death? The funnel of death is doing its job. It's going to be extremely hard for the Tyranids to push this area. Because, yeah, as I've just accurately described, it is a complete and utter funnel of death. Oh my, look at this. There's only 1 or 2 Space Marines holding this area. The other ones that were out here must have fallen. Unfortunately, they're now underneath a pile of Tyranids, it must seem. However, the Death Corps over here, that got stuck. My god, have they made an account for themselves? Look at the pile of bodies of Nids here that it's taken to push them down. Let's go back over, though, to our main offense over here. You see plenty of Space Marines now realizing what is happening to the gatehouse. The Space Marines have decided to countercharge. They think, hang on, if we push out, we can push the Nids back, and then their bodies won't be able to pile up to the wall. And that's exactly what's happening here. The Space Marines have pushed out, and a couple of the Krieg have followed with them. Let's go have a look at our other gatehouse over here. Okay, so there is no Space Marines pushing out to this one. However, there is also... Look at this. There's just a wall of Cadians firing bullets at this one little area, making sure that nothing gets through it. Speaking of little areas, let's go to our largest breach here, where actually it's held out really nicely. Again, largely thanks to the Space Marines. Now, this is a double-layered castle, so even if this breach area does fall, it does not give them clean access. There is still another gatehouse here, so they can't just stomp through. So hopefully this 2-tier defense here will really help the defenders. Meanwhile, the Tyranid horde, let's have a look here. Oh my god. Okay, so 270,000 Nids have been killed. There's still 4.7 million left, though, ladies and gentlemen. The siege is far from over. The Nids have managed to kill 1,840 of the guardsmen so far, and a couple of them have been Space Marines, which are high-value targets. Meanwhile, this is just getting brutal on all of the gatehouses now. I don't even know which one to look at, because the corpses are piling up outside of all of them. The Space Marines here resolutely pushing forward, realizing, like I said, the plan of the Nids here. Oh my god, look at this! Okay, well, the Death Corps over here have been turned into nothing but sticky, icky goo. Though, I will say, they did a fantastic job here of keeping back the Nids and keeping them busy. Look at this gatehouse, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my! A complete and utter countercharge here by the Black Templars, as leading to a fantastic little push out here. Though they've got to be careful. Look at how close the body pile is here now to being level with the wall. That will give the Tyranids new access points into the fort, and that could be deadly. Though I must say, this countercharge here by the Space Marines has been absolutely fantastic in pushing back the Tyranid horde. They need something like that over here. Desperately need something like that over here. This one still holding out really nicely. Them few Space Marines. Oh no, it looks like we lost a couple. A couple more Space Marines, though, are making their way to the front. Hopefully they will be able to plug the gap once again and keep the Tyranids back. How are we doing on this one? The countercharge over here, still not as successful, but it is still holding back the Tyranids. It is stopping them from getting that effective body pile built up. Over here, there is no counter push whatsoever. There's just a lot of guns trying to keep everyone out. Oh, Tyranid going for a flying lesson there. Perhaps he thought he had wings for a second. Looks like we're getting a large counter charge here from the death funnel. I mean, that kind of defeats the point of the death funnel, but I'd expect no less from the Space Marines, to be honest. They were like, we don't need no tactical advantage. We are the tactical advantage. And speaking of being the tactical advantage, look at this, ladies and gentlemen. The Space Marines here have really pushed out this one little area now. What I think we'll do very quickly is we'll hit a time-lapse camera here and see how long these chaps hold out, because that is basically a matter of fact. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one for the Space Marines to hold this. So, we'll be back in a second. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back, and unfortunately it does look like our Space Marine line here is starting to falter. Look at that, a critical breakthrough here. There was not enough Space Marines pushing forward. They stretched out too far, and the entire gains here that they'd made now has been lost. But look at this, more Space Marines though pushing out, rallying forth, ready to take up that breach once more. Oh my, will they actually be able to stabilize here? This is a critical point for the Space Marines here and the Krieg who are holding this area, but look at this insane body pile we've actually made here now. This was all flat before, and now it's just an insane body pile that's almost level with the wall. So these new Space Marines here have really helped out. Let's go have a look how we're doing over here, because look at this, ladies and gentlemen. The worst has started to happen. The bodies are starting to pile up over the gatehouse here. Bit by bit, the Tyranids are creating a new pathway out of bodies. How are we doing over at the breach? A lot more Space Marines, and we actually got a Lehman Russ up here now as well. And this thing, the body pile over here as well, ladies and gentlemen, is getting to a point where it's soon going to be coming over the wall. That is going to be a very deadly position for the Guardsmen to be in. You can see that the counter charge over here is still basically stalled, but it is holding back the Tyranid swarm pretty successfully. And over here, we've got a tank that Lehman Russ has pushed out. Ladies and gentlemen, for some reason, it's decided to go toe-to-toe with the Tyranids, who could quite easily slide through its armor. And from the death funnel over here, it looks like we've got a successful countercharge on this side as well, actually. That looks like it's been quite successful. Oh, no, though. We've just got the critical break in the line here. And I don't think... There's only a few Space Marines, but they're struggling to make their way through the Guardsmen. The Guardsmen aren't budging and letting them through at all, so they're really struggling here. The Tyranids now breaking through the line while the rest of the Space Marines try to hold on. Oh, that is brutal here for the Kriegsmen and the Cadian shock troops here. We've got a bit of a combined operation going on here. Look at that. The Tyranid swarm now. Deadly and encroaching, just ripping apart men here, tearing limbs into the air. Oh, that is so deadly. Let's go back over here. How was our assault doing? Did they actually manage to stabilize? Oh no. Oh no, they did not manage to stabilize. The entire side over here now has just collapsed. And they're all pushing right into the Krieg. You can see that we've got one Space Marine up here who managed to get forward. How many are behind it? There is quite a few Space Marines behind here. They're just struggling to get through because of all the bodies and the tanks and the Guardsmen that are in the way. But it looks like soon enough, I mean, the Tyranids might be getting literally their own way soon. They might be coming over the walls here. Look at this. Oh, this one is extremely close to it. The guardsmen up here, they are firing upwards. Like, imagine being on a 30-foot high wall and suddenly finding yourself firing upwards at an enemy because of the amount of bodies that have piled up outside the wall. That's kind of ridiculous. When I say kind of ridiculous, it's utterly ridiculous. Oh my god. And they've only killed 750,000 here. There's still 4.2 million Tyranids left, who have now made their way to the death funnel. That's where things will get real interesting there, ladies and gentlemen. How are we doing on this gatehouse? The tank is still holding out. And God knows how it's managing to do it, but it is actually managing to do it. And over here, yeah, it looks like the counter-assault over here has now completely faltered, and the Tyranids are back to assaulting at the gatehouse. Over here, the tank still holding out, Space Marines still holding the line. Oh god, look at that in the background. Tyranid bodies are now pouring over the wall. Oh no, that is terrifying. Oh look, I think this actually might even be pathable now. Like, let's see actually. I want to see if we can see any Tyranids actually. They are, look, they're actually pathing down here now. This is now a viable attack angle, and there is a set of stairs here, so this actually gives them a complete new entrance now, albeit one that is heavily guarded, but it is still a new entrance completely. Is the one on this side? No, not yet, but it is getting there. Okay, that is something to keep an eye on, as is over here, I think, as well. This is very, very close to the Tyranids starting to path over this part. There's a little bit to go yet on that side. And definitely over here, still a little bit to go yet. But oh my, the counter-charge by the Space Marines has failed. The Tyranids now completely swarming over all aspects of the wall here. This is really, really intense. I've got no idea if the Imperial Guard are going to be able to hold this out, because if these do fall, the Tyranids are going to have such momentum when it comes to their actual swarming capabilities. Because at the moment, this is really a bottleneck situation that's working massively in favour of the Guardsmen. The fact that they're able to utilise all their guns in such a narrow space. But if these spaces suddenly become really wide, then yeah, that's going to become a problem. And this one, bit by bit, is getting wider at every second as well. Look at that. That's an actual divergence in the pathing there. You can literally see the Tyranids turning to come this way. Okay, that's scary. But you can see, look at this though. You have got this to contend with. There is a second layer of Guardsmen up here on Overwatch, looking over the Falconians down here, who've also got a tank on the wall, we might add. Oh my days, this is insane. Look, we've got a couple of Space Marines now who've made their way up here, ready. And I think, look, the same is happening over here now. The Tyranids are actually starting to path onto the wall directly. And over here, oh no. Okay, we are reaching the critical point here now for the defenders. 28,000 of them remaining. That's kind of scary. I think I placed down like 46,000, but of the 46,000, probably like 35,000 actually spawned, because some of them get despawned because of the buildings and, you know, things like that. So, yeah, there was only about 35,000 defenders in total, unfortunately. Even though I did place down 40, but, you know, it's how it goes. It's how the game works. Can't do much about it. Meanwhile, though, 800, coming up to 900,000 kills here by the defenders. 4 million to go. And, yeah, with the walls getting swarmed like this, I would not like to be in their position. This is, it's just terrifying, frankly. And this is just a scout force of Hormagaunts. Think of that. This is nothing. Like, this is, what, 1% of a horde? A swarm, should I say? Like, realistically, it is about 1%. And look at it. I mean, this is a small, tiny outpost for the Imperial Guard, but even so, it's insane to watch. Look at this. The Guardsmen now firing upwards towards the sky, trying to hold out. Look at this, the Krieg engaging here in a basically bladed combat with a Tyranid. You absolute mad lads. Only a Krieg would charge bayonet first into a Tyranid swarm. You know what, though? I think what we're going to have to do, I think we're going to have to hit a time-lapse camera, and I think we're going to be over here, because I want to see what happens with this swarm over here. I want to see, does he actually make it over? Look at all the bodies coming in. Oh, my God. Okay, let's hit the slow-mo. Look at this. Oh, my days. The bodies. Well, someone play Drowning Pool. Come on, you know it's got to be done. Oh, my... That is terrifying. Like, if you were actually a guardsman below this, technically you'd be dead. Like, a Tyranid falling on you, it's still got razor-sharp claws. You know what I mean? It'd still slice you open if they fell onto you. But, yeah, that is so cool. Oh, my days. That is absolutely amazing. Okay, so, yeah, let's hit the pause there, and let's hit a time lapse. So you can see just over in the distance over there as well, we can see the other swarm as well. So let's see if they actually manage to mount the bodies up over here or push back the Krieg. Which will happen first? I don't know. We'll be back in a moment. Well, ladies and gentlemen, would you look at that? The Space Marines here have yet again gone for a countercharge, rallying forth over the corpses, trying to push them back. And you know what? There's actually a decent force of them here, holding back that Tyranid horde, trying to stop them from swarming over the wall anymore, because the body pile has got truly ridiculous here. Let's go over here now, because I just want to show you this as well. Look at this. You might have saw it building up in the background. This is fully under the swarm now. Oh my days. They still haven't built it up this side quite yet, but on this side, things are getting extremely dire. The body pile now is bigger than the wall itself. Look at this. It is literally bigger than the wall. You could now walk from one side of the breach to the other over the body of the Tyranids here. That is absolutely insane. 1.2 million kills we're coming up to now for the defenders so far. 4,450 losses. You know what? That's not bad considering the kill ratio that they've put out here. You can see that we've also got a little mini countercharge going on over here. But the place that I'm really interested in looking at is this. Look at that. The funnel here, doing its job. The Tyranids, though, the bodies yet again are building up over the sides bit by bit. Now, these do give good access points inside the castle as well. So, they've got to be really careful here. Like, the funnel was never designed for this amount of troops trying to go through it, really. Hey, look at it. Oh, my God. You know what? Let's hit that slow-mo. Let's see these Tyranids just getting absolutely blasted as they come over the top here. But, so, a shell went off. Killed about 100 of them. And almost instantly, even in slow motion, the gap has just completely filled in. That is terrifying. In fact, it looks like we lost a lot of the Krieg over here. We've got quite a few Cadians now. So maybe, actually, it looks like the Krieg tried to push forward, lost quite a few of their numbers, and a couple of Cadian have had to come over and help fill in the gap here. Let's take it back out of slow motion. Let's get back over here, though, to where our full assault is actually going on. I'm actually kind of impressed here. This is a major assault here by the Space Marines. Is it wise, though? I mean, can they risk these reckless assaults? Because it really is kind of reckless. I realise they're trying to stop the swarm from coming over, but at the end of the day, they could still hold them back. They keep pushing forward. That's the problem that they've got here. Every time they push forward, the line gets thinner and thinner. Oh, my God. Look at that, though. They really are just, like, what? 30 Space Marines holding back millions of NIDs. It is just exactly what they were built for. Oh my God. Let's go back over here. I really want to see what happens with this breach over here as well, because this is getting ridiculous as well. The bodies over this side are building up really quickly as well. Have we got any insane blood pools going yet? Well, we can see little trickles underneath them. But nothing completely insane yet. Oh my God, look at all the body piles. I'm sorry, but inside the castle was completely flat. Oh my God. The Tyranids have actually built a body pile that now goes and engulfs the entire wall here. Look at all these bodies of NIDs underneath here, though. Like I said, the entirety of this area was completely flat before. So the fact that it's now like this is just insane, realistically. It's not too bad over this side, actually. They've fared a lot better, but I think that's also because they've had a lot of outgoing assaults. A lot of the bodies are also mainly piled up out the front of this gate rather than over it, which is really good for the defenders. Let's have a look how we're doing over here. So it does look like then a couple of more Krieg here attempting to retake the walls here. They've even brought up a tank with them this time. That's exactly what they needed to do to reinforce this line. It's holding out magnificently so far. As are these ones. This little miniature assault that they've got going on over here has been doing really good as well. It's held the Tyranids back to no end. So I think what we'll do once again is we'll hit a time-lapse camera. We're going to probably do about half an hour here because, like I said, we're only 1.3 million in. There's still 3.6 million to go. So we'll hit... you know what? It's really hard to decide what to look at. We're going to watch the assault, though, I think. We've got to watch the assault. I'll do a little bit of a zoomed-out one so we can also see what's happening in the background as well. So, yeah, we'll be back in a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and as you can see, things are getting pretty hairy here now for the Imperial defenders. Basically, the amount of dead from the Tyranids now has completely enveloped the entire wall. Look at this. They can push along this entire segment here, and look at that. Oh my days, the body pile is now a good 10 feet higher than the actual wall. It's actually starting to get up towards the parapets at the top. I bet these chaps up here are wondering, what the hell? Look at this! The body pile is insanely high over here, which also means that the Tyranids are swarming over a much larger size of the wall now. The Imperial Guard are starting to take heavy losses as more and more Tyranids swarm over every single inch of this castle. Oh my god, look at this, they're even making the way along this wall here now. The outer edge has been just turned into a ramp. The ramparts have been turned into ramps, oh my god. Look at this though, on this side. This is where things have turned really deadly now. The entire wall has disappeared underneath the weight of the bodies of the Tyranids. Like, there is no wall there anymore. There is just a mound of dead Tyranids. And the Nids are now pouring over that one area. And over here, look at the breach. This is what remains of the breach, ladies and gentlemen. It is just aghast with the dead Nids. I mean, I cannot quantify to you the insanity here. Look at this. The entire fortress on this end here has just disappeared under dead bodies of the Nids. It's absolute insanity. Oh my god, and this is just a tiny scouting force. Can you imagine what it'd be like to take on a full swarm host? Like, the entire fortress may end up buried in bodies. Like, there would be no fortress left. There'd just be Imperial Guard fighting on top of a pyramid of bodies. That'd literally be it. Look at this. Even on the attack fronts where they've not pushed as hard, they're now able to get over the walls. Oh my days, this is absolute insanity here, ladies and gentlemen. The Tyranid army surging forward. Like, look at this. This is the funnel. The death funnel is no longer a funnel at all. It's an entire breach in the wall here, with the Nids just swarming over it. Thousands are dying every second. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm absolutely gobsmacked by this. It is just a deluge of death. A downpour of Tyranids is just descending upon the guardsmen. At any point where there's any resistance, there's just now a mound of bodies. Look at this! The Death Corps here, pushing up. Oh my god, they're actually trying to push over the mound of bodies, you absolute nutters. No matter where you look, Tyranids are swarming now over every point of this. It's getting to a point now where I don't even know what it's going to take. Because look at this as well. A new hazard has appeared on the battlefield. I-Corps is slowly filling up the centre here with nowhere to escape, with the bodies mounted up and all the walls. The middle is slowly filling up. Yeah, I think the defensive line over this side is actually starting to falter now. I mean, you cannot blame them. They are just being completely swarmed on all sides. But there is a good chunk of Cadians now that have lost their life over here. Slowly but surely then, I think the Tyranids are pushing them back. And I mean, my God, look at that. I'm sorry, I'm absolutely awestruck here. The Tyranid swarm, this is, like I said, only 5 million of them, and it's just completely submerged the fortress in corpses. The guardsmen have put up a valiant defense so far, but is it going to be enough here? I mean, this is getting ridiculous. At what point do you think, like, okay, you know, we've been fighting now for like an hour, and this is what's happened to our wall? Well, actually, it's been an hour and a half of fighting, and this is what's happened to their walls. Yeah. Do you imagine what a full-scale war would look like after 3 or 4 years of fighting the Tyranid horde? Because I don't know how quickly the Tyranids can actually assimilate the biomass of the dead. You know what I mean? Like, if this attack falters, like, in the middle of the night, will the gene stealers come in and assimilate a load of biomass? How does it work? There's some Tyranid players out there, I know, in the comments, so let me know. How would the Tyranids actually assimilate all this biomass? Should the defenders actually hold out? Would they just literally have to attack again and then be able to harvest after the battle? I imagine they've got some special kind of harvester unit. Oh my God, look at this. That is... yeah, that's kind of terrifying now. The guardsmen are in a deadly situation here. No matter where I look, the Nids are just pouring over. Oh my days, look at this. Oh, I know I should be commenting here, but you know what, you know what we're gonna do? You know what, we haven't done this in a while. We're gonna hit, ladies and gentlemen, a cinematic section. We'll be back in a moment. Well, I hope you enjoyed that, ladies and gentlemen, because as you can see, we've got a critical break here, unfortunately. The breach which held valiantly for so long, the Cadians, 25,000 of them, were defending this one area. And look at this. You can see why it fell eventually. I mean, it's frankly, none of the fortress exists on this side at all anymore. There is no wall left at all, just a massive mountain of Tyranid bodies, which enabled the Nids to basically harness their full might here and smashed right into the guardsman's line, and bit by bit they've been torn asunder, nibbled to bits, and all the blood is now just piling up all over the place, and somehow the guardsmen are still fighting on over here. 2.8 million kills under the belt so far. There's still 2 million Nids to go. Oh my god, there's only 8,000 defenders left, and a good chunk of them are about to become exactly that, chunks. I mean, look at this. The insane Tyranid swarm here. Basically, just, yeah, death. They killed themselves so much that I can't get over how much of the fortress has disappeared under the weight of the Tyranid bodies. That is just the ultimate tactic here. So it doesn't matter how high you build your damn fortress walls, the Tyranids will happily sacrifice millions of their own units just to build a ramp up to it. So yeah, good luck, guardsmen, because quite frankly, your days are numbered here, chaps. I don't care that you've got tanks here. The Hormagaunts are just swarming right over them. A couple of Kriegsmen stuck over here as well. They're holding out really nicely on the stairs. Actually, look at this. All the Cadians in between have died. Meanwhile, the Krieg, back to back in the corner, stabbing their way, and there goes the last one. There's a couple more left in here, but my god, this is going to open up a new path of war right into the rear line over here, which is going to be a distraction that they could do without, because look at this. I mean, not to underestimate this wall either. This one has been completely covered in corpses also. An entire attack vector has been opened up on this. Things are starting to look a little bit bleak. Oh my god, this entire line just collapsed. Oh no, we were just looking over here. Oh god, that is really bad. I suppose at least they've got a little narrow funnel again. That is one good thing. There were some Tyranids here trying to make their way down the stairs. I'd love to see a Tyranid going down actual stairs in real life. I don't think it'd really happen. I don't think they'd have the grip. I think they'd just slide and fall down. Not that that'd harm them or anything, but it'd give you a chance to stab and kick them. No, don't kick them. Stab and kill them is what I was trying to say. But yeah, meanwhile, the Tyranid swarm here, totally just going for it now at this point. They've got blood in the air and practically everywhere, to be honest. There's just blood smeared everywhere. I mean, that's one thing that we haven't got a lack of at the moment. I was complaining earlier on that we didn't have enough blood, but look at this. The entire battlefield is now just a mishmash of, yeah, a quagmire of death. One of my favourite sayings. Accurately describes exactly what it is. The last of our Cadians over here now going down with the Lehman Russ, and pretty soon these chaps here, I don't know actually, how deep is this? Are they going to be able to pass through it? Yeah, they might be able to pass through that. We'll find out in a second once this last Lehman Russ goes down there. Oh god, there we go, the last Lehman Russ is gone, and the last few there have gone down with it. Now, what are you guys going to do? This is going to be the interesting part. So I can see that some of them are pathing over there towards this wall. Can they actually make the way through here, or is it too deep? You know what? It might actually be too deep for them to pass through. Oh my god, that has just saved the entire rear flank of the Imperial Guard, that has. Oh, you lucky boys, you don't even know how lucky you were. The Cadians may have died, but they did their job to a point where, yeah, there's so much blood now on the bottom floor that troops are going to be drowning if they go into it. Look at this, they are. Oh, these chaps over here deciding that they'd rather drown in the blood of the enemy than actually face them. Look at this. The entire lines are collapsing very rapidly now. Oh my god. With every soldier that dies, the firepower of the Imperial Guard is drastically reduced. This narrow little funnel area here has been working wonders for them though. The only problem is that they've got really nowhere to retreat. As you can see, look. The blood is so deep over here that it is just going to start drowning troops out. Now, I'm actually surprised that there's still a heck of a lot of Space Marines over this side. I'm wondering if they're struggling to path up the side of the corpses here. So yeah, this entire line now completely over here. There's no more defenders at all. So yeah, all these chaps are just going to be trying to make their way over to this line here. I suppose then, ultimately, that this line is going to be the first one that probably falters. Maybe followed by this one, and then that one over there. That's my guessing anyway. I don't know. Place your bets now. Which line do you think is going to hold? Is it going to be the gatehouse over here? Is it going to be the death funnel over here? Or is it going to be Space Marine Central? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I've kind of got my hopes out for this one. They've still got a lot of guardsmen left over here and a few tanks. There is no Space Marines over here. Maybe I should reevaluate what I just said. Maybe I'll vote for that one over here. The one with the Space Marines. That probably is the wisest choice. Meanwhile, the guardsmen over here desperately tried to hold out. You can see this one Space Marine standing basically on a roof now because the bodies have been piled up enough to enable him to do so. Just holding out. And we got one over here as well. Oh, these are just excellent distraction units. Let's go back over to this line though. So what I think we'll do is we'll hit a time lapse. I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see the gunfire in the distance very quickly be snuffed out. So yeah, I think my bet was very wrong. Yeah, in fact, look at that. It's the first line that's basically fallen. Okay, yeah. I was like, oh, this one will be the last one to hold out because there's a lot of troops. No, it is the first one to fall. They've just been absolutely swarmed, killed instantly. Only the Krieg basically remain over here and a few tanks. Oh, actually, there's still quite a contingent over here. But basically, once these tanks are gone, that is it. It's GG, good night, Irene, for them. Meanwhile, over here, though, this one is also faltering now with the death of the Space Marine that was holding out the line. You can see that the Nids are just swarming over it. The Guardsmen struggling to keep a grip on the sheer cliff face here. Meanwhile, the Nids have absolutely no problem pathing over their dead. So it does look like then that this area here is going to be our last stand. There's only 2,600 defenders remaining here. 1.9 million attackers remaining. They killed 3 million so far, which is no small feat in and of itself. I still can't get over this. Look at that. Where's the fortress gone? Well, it's under that pile of about 2 million dead. Flipping Zerg. I was going to Zerg. They're not Zerg. Oh my god, that's StarCraft. TYRANIDS. I'm so sorry. I'm going to get shouted at in the comments below for that one. Yeah, I know. StarCraft stole from these, not the other way around. Oh my god. You got to admit, though, the Zerglings and these chaps are very similar. You would have thought that Blizzard would have not ripped them off so much, but you know what? It is what it is. So what we're going to do now then is we'll quickly hit a time-lapse camera because, yeah, we're essentially in last stand mode here and these chaps are going to have to hold out as long as they can. So, we'll be back in a moment. Well, here it is, the true last stand now of the Imperial Guard. Only a few Cadian shock troops remain. And also, of course, we've got a few of our Lehman Rusk Sherman tanks. Oh, look at the tanks, Lido. There's a couple of Krieg left alive as well. I am mistaken, sorry. Yeah, we have got a couple of Krieg here. Does look like our entire Space Marines, but basically half of a chapter equivalent, has been pretty much wiped out. These two guys left here. These are the only two left. Oh, God. And meanwhile, the Tyranid swarm continues to push over. Oh my god. Just definitely after the last few tasty morsels of flesh that are left here on the battlefield. And look at this. They've actually managed to build a path through the corpses here. Do you know how they've done it? They sort of built it out of bodies. Look at this. So bit by bit, they've actually managed to make a pathway through all this because they basically, like ants, sacrificed Nids to be able to cross it. The entire fortress, look at that. It's just crawling with Nids. It is absolutely insane how much of it has disappeared under the bodies here. And yeah, basically last stand is basically just these troops here now. Last 120. And I wonder what is going through the mind of these guys, apart from let's take as many of these suckers down with us as they possibly can. Oh my god, Lehman Russ here, trying its best to hold out. What it should do, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my god, no, wrong way. No, this way. There we go. Let's drive over them all. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, well, it got dead. Well, never mind, it was worth a try. I tried to drive over all the nids, but instead the nids just sort of crushed me, as they are crushing the last of the guardsmen here. Apparently there's 20 left. I'm gonna guess. Oh no, they managed to get up on the parapets. No, there's none up there. What about up here? Okay, yes, look at this. The last men of Krieg here, standing on top of the parapets. They don't care. They're trying to hold out here. You can see every now and then a nid does get up to them somehow. I don't know how. I mean, I don't even know how they got up there, realistically. It doesn't even look like there's a door on them. But ladies and gentlemen, with that, I think we are going to call this one here. After 2 hours, unfortunately, Invicticus 6 finally has fallen to the Tyranid swarm. I do hope you had a blast. I know I did. Please do comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. A massive shout out to all our channel members who help to keep this channel going. And as a reward for being a channel member, your extra content is now available. So go ahead and check that out. And if you're not a channel member, why the heck not? Click the join button below. And if you're after some handy dandy artwork, links are in the description. Go check them out. With all that being said, as always, until next time, peace.